In addition, the World Health Organization recommends that, and I quote, any legal instruments that include provisions incompatible with community-based mental health care should be removed. End of quote.
What is your name?
Every encounter at the asylum simply puts Nigeria on trial by her own law and by the best practice expected from her as a member of the international community.
Who brought you now?
I came by myself as a visitor.
And you just came here? They allowed you to come inside?
Yeah.
Who did you come to see?
I come here to collect my wife.
Where is your wife?
She has been in the female asylum.
Then wait there.
Mom had on 5 of September 2009. When my father met a bill, I said, "Oh God." And I told my asylum. Mommy, if you can help me.
What will do?
No, look at this. Prison authorities should send the accused person to psychiatric hospital and get a report on his mental state.
Oh yeah, sit down.
For a lucky few among the tens of victims who once thought there would not be an end, it was an end to a beginning, and the beginning of an end. Time to regain freedom, recapture the denied humanity, justice in the end. But the type of justice envisaged by Prawa was not a cold, unfeeling act of ensuring that what was right had been done at the end of the day. Justice in this case was a process rather than a single event of securing the release of the victims from the prison asylum. First, mental illness of any sort needs expert attention. The Nigerian prison service lacks the skills, capacity, and required manpower for this task.
Mental illness is usually chronic and long drawn. They get well, they relapse, they get well, particularly when they are not properly taken care of.
Prawa undertook the task of monitoring and keeping track of the progress of the asylum repatriates at the Enugu Psychiatric Hospital. The second stage was facilitating the desired working relationship between the prison service and the Neuropsychiatric Hospital Enugu to establish a sustainable model treatment method for the care of the mentally ill offenders. On all sides, the prison service, Enugu Neuropsychiatric Hospital, and Prawa, discussions were frank, exhaustive, and solution-oriented. Thirdly, within its internal operations, Prawa established the structure to fill the vacuum created by a lack of an agency responsible for pre-discharge social welfare formalities, including family link support, along with aftercare services that also involved monitoring and follow-up of those returning to the society. Uchenna Oko and Ukachukwu Jasper are both clinical psychologists devoted to preparing the victims for social rehabilitation and conducting the weekly group therapy sessions to ensure healthy adjustments of the victims to the changed and challenging world.
Prawa is concerned with rehabilitation of prisoners, that is those who have been released from the prison and, about to be reintegrated into the society. So a clinical psychologist is there to actually know if they are fit to, go back into the society. That's personality-wise, if there's any problem they have which led them to the penal institution that has not been corrected. The clinical psychologist comes in now to handle that so that by being integrated into the society, the person will not have any problem with crime or coming back to the penal institution. So a clinical psychologist ensures that the person who has been released from the prison or from the asylum does not have any problem upon release from prison in terms of adjustments.
Life you live in the prison, generally, it's not the same life you live when you come outside the prison. So we run a sort of a social rehabilitation program to be able to adapt with the people they meet outside. I give a particular instance. Somebody stayed 18 years in the prison, doesn't even know that GSM exists. So for the person coming and seeing things like that, he needs to rearrange his mindset to understand that you're coming out to meet things that have overdeveloped more than what you saw before you left. So we'll do in-prison workshop for them, for those who are about to be released. For those who are released already, we will call weekly workshop or weekly counseling sessions for them. It might be group, it might be individual counseling session. So every Wednesday they come around. For those that are coming for group session, it's mostly those that have similar problem, might be anxiety, might be trying to cope with family. We host them together so that we share their own ideas. For those that are already coping, how am I coping? Then we can able to counsel them. There's no leader when it has to do with group counseling. But for individual counselors, those that have a very pathetic problem that we need to talk to one-on-one, and those who don't want us to discuss their issue in the group.
Now, the D-Day. Happy Controller of Prisons, Enugu State, Elder Christopher Ntewo, walked into the Prawa's office with bold confidence. Uju Agoma, the Executive Director of Prawa, received a visitor to the happy party full of assurance. The normal business day at Prawa led to an historical turning point. A new door opened for a group of silent and suffering minority, the mentally ill inmates in Nigerian prisons. Even the prison service itself benefited.
What Prawa has done is something that we encourage in Nigerian prison service. Some of them have been incarcerated for a very long time because of their mental state. And now with all these facilities and the treatment, it's assumed that there have been some level of resettlement. So please, as you are going, don't forsake them.
But there is more for the Nigerian nation to do. When there is a will, it is often said, there is a way. And the will of Dr. Uju Agoma remains that of seeing that what is right is done, should be done in this case.
People who have mental illness are people who require our sympathy, our support, our prayers, our care. We cannot treat them as outcasts. We cannot treat them like prisoners that needs to be locked up and throw away the key. Those persons who are mentally ill, who have committed no offense, need not be in prison. And every one of us need to do something to get them out of the prison.